Greetings, my dear viewers. It is I, Drayhan, and welcome back to Dungeons & Dragons Character Conversion, where we take a look at characters from across media and bring them into Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition as a playable character. Today we are looking at Helayne, the evil illusionist found in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons coloring books. She also has a puffy sticker. Yeah, Helayne doesn't have a stat block anywhere. So we are going to be taking some creative liberties when it comes to this character build. But we do have a little bit of a story going on in the coloring book known as The Lost Wand, which does give us a little bit of information about her character. We know she does work with the League of Malevolence. She is currently working with, I believe it was Zarek, and a character known as Foxfingers, who we will be taking a look at on a later date. They are looking for a powerful wand, and they happen to find it in the hands of a druid known as Helayne. Helayne kidnaps Helayne and takes her to Helayne's tower and imprisons her there. Valor's Call comes in to try to save the druid, and Helayne ends up doing battle with the cleric of Valor's Call, Mercion. As story goes, the villains lose, Helayne is released, and Valor's Call ends up taking the wand. You know, same goes as it always goes. But at least we have a little bit of her character in this coloring book. So, why don't we go ahead and get started. Starting things off with the point buy system, since we do not have any stats to go off of for Helayne, I am actually going to be using the Illusionist Wizard, which can be found in Voldenkaden's Monsters of the Multiverse. So we'll have a strength of 8, dexterity of 14, constitution of 13, intelligence of 15, wisdom and charisma will both be at an 11. Helayne is going to be a human since we don't have an actual race for her, and it doesn't seem to have any significant features on her in the coloring book. So we're just going to go with the human. More specifically, the variant human, which is going to increase our constitution and charisma each by 1, and give us a size of medium, speed of 30 feet, the skill in medicine, the feat of warcaster, and languages of common and one of our choice. Since she does work with the League of Malevolence, it would stand to reason to go with Orc, especially if she is working with someone like Zarek. Moving on to the background. This one, again, is sort of just going out there and picking random straws, but considering she is a wizard, most people will choose the sage background for their wizard, especially when they are just starting out. And as far as the specialty goes, seeing as Helayne in the coloring book is seen brewing something in a cauldron, I decided to go with the alchemist. For proficiencies, we get access to Arcana and History with 2 more languages of choice. This is totally up to you, though considering some other members of the League are of non-human species, like the evil Metaflame is an orc? Or was he a giant? I think he was a giant. And then there was also Pulveri, who is an ogre? Question mark. He only has 1 eye, so he looks more like a Cyclops in his design. No, seriously, check out that toy. It is weird that they call it an ogre when it's clearly a cyclops. Anyway, your features, your specialty is an alchemist, and you get access to researcher. Moving on to our class. Obviously, we are an illusionist wizard, so we are going with the wizard class, giving us a d6 hit die, starting hit points of 6 plus our constitution modifier, and additional hit points equal to 1d6 plus your constitution modifier per wizard level after the first. Your proficiencies are going to be in daggers, darts, slings, quarterstaffs, and light crossbows. Your saving throws are going to be in intelligence and wisdom, with skills of insight and investigation. Your spell casting uses your intelligence modifier, and you also have access to a spell book where you're going to be putting your spell collection. You also have access to the feature of arcane recovery. Level 2 wizard is our arcane tradition. We are going with illusion, giving us access to illusion solvent and improved minor illusion. Now, I gotta say that illusion wizards are a little underwhelming, considering how many different arcane traditions we have. Some of them are definitely better than others, and illusion wizards only get their good features at later levels, more specifically illusory reality at 14th level. So if you were to go with the illusion wizard, like you probably should for Helayne, you're definitely going to want to stick with the wizard class for a good while. But with how underwhelming the illusion tradition is at early stages, we're going to need to find a way to spice this character up a little bit. Don't worry, we are not going to be multi-classing too far, as we still need illusory reality. So, like I said, we're taking a little bit of creative liberties here. We are going to multi-class, but what class are we going to multi-class into is the question. Well, again, considering her one illustration we have of her is her brewing something in a cauldron, I decided to go with the artificer. Yes, I am suggesting that you go with an archivist build for Helayne. But you will see why once we get into level 3 artificer. The artificer gets a 1d8 hit die, extra hit points equal to 1d8 plus their constitution modifier per artificer level, proficiencies in light armor, medium armor, and shields. Tools are in thieves' tools and tinker's tools. Spell casting using your intelligence modifier, but you have to have access to some tools, and you have magical tinkering. Second level artificers get access to some infusions. I would recommend the following: replicate alchemy jar, replicate bag of holding, replicate hat of wizardry. Since you are a wizard primarily, it would make sense to have this item, and enhanced arcane focus. At 6th level, you also have access to spell refueling ring, and Fox Fingers probably needs a little bit of a boost, so I would recommend giving him access to replicate gloves of thievery. Moving on to level 3 artificer, we're going with the alchemist for reasons I've already mentioned. This will give you access to tool proficiencies in alchemist supplies. Your alchemist spells are Healing Word and Ray of Sickness, and you also have Experimental Elixir. And just for being a 3rd level artificer, you get access to the right tool for the job. At 4th level wizard, we get access to an ability score improvement. Go ahead and increase your intelligence and wisdom each by 1. Level 4 artificers also get an ability score improvement. Go ahead and increase your intelligence by 2. Level 6 wizards gets access to malleable illusions. At level 8 Wizard, we'll go ahead and increase our strength by 2 points. 5th level Artificers get Alchemical Solvent, and 2 more Alchemist spells, Flaming Sphere and Acid Arrow. Level 6 Artificer gets access to Tool Expertise, which is pretty useful. Moving on to the rest of our wizard levels, we get access to Illusory Self at level 10, an ability score improvement at level 12, go ahead and increase your intelligence by 2 more points. And finally, Illusory Reality at 14th level. Like I said, illusion wizards are a little mediocre at this until we get to this level. And, well, there is something that wizards used to do when we only had access to the player's handbook, back in the days of 2014. And that was switching spellbooks. If you were an illusion wizard, you would learn enchantment spells. Give your spellbook to your enchantment wizard, who would copy them down for half the cost. Your enchantment wizard would have abjuration spells, pass their spellbook to the abjuration wizard so they can copy them down. Abjuration would get access to conjuration spells and give them to the conjuration wizard. Your conjuration wizard would pass their illusion spells over to you, the illusion wizard. It was a thing. So while you could do that, I am going to give you a list of spells that I thought would work for Helayne as a character. So to end this video off, let's go ahead and take a look at those spells. For your Artificer spells, I decided to go with the cantrips of Create Bonfire and Mending. For your first level spells, we have Alarm, False Life, Grease, Purify Food and Drink, and Tasha's Caustic Brew. Second level spells are going to be Arcane Lock, Lesser Restoration, and Pyrotechnics. For your wizard spells, the cantrips will be Acid Splash, Firebolt, Frostbite, Message, and Toll the Dead. First level spells we have Burning Hands, Comprehend Languages, Frost Fingers, Mage Armor, Magic Missile, Magnify Gravity, Shield, and Silvery Barbs. Second level spells we have Cloud of Daggers, Gift of Gab, Hold Person, Locate Object, Mirror Image, and Shadow Blade. It does say that Helayne was able to shake off the spell that was binding her in the coloring book, so it makes sense that Hold Person or some sort of similar spell was used on Helayne. Was used on Helayne. So that's why we are giving her access to Hold Person. Plus a couple of other spells that would bind a creature. For third level spells, we have Counterspell, Dispel Magic, Enemies Abound, and Galder's Tower. Fourth level spells are going to be Hallucinatory Terrain, because that just sounds fun, especially with an illusion wizard. Locate Creature, Phantasmal Killer, and Polymorph. Fifth level spells will be Hold Monster, Mislead, Scrying, and Wall of Force. Sixth level spells we have Fizzvan's Platinum Shield, Mental Prison, Flesh to Stone, and True Seeing. For 7th level spells, we have Reverse Gravity and Teleport. We have to be able to get out of dodge as soon as we lose the fight against Valor's Call, after all. Anyway, that is all for today's video. What did you think of Helayne? Let me know in the comments section down below of what character you would like to see next. Until next time, this has been Drahan, and I am offline.